Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Faith. I'm writing an adult literary fiction novel. It's going by the name If I Had the Money. I'm thinking of changing it because there's a theme change in the novel. But yeah, in this vlog, I'm gonna finish writing the book. At least I should. My goal is to finish writing the book by December 13th because that's when I probably will leave for home, and I want to like print the novel while I'm in school because I have like free printing for a certain amount of pages, and it's just like the amount of pages is a good amount, and it's just like I want to print it out at school while I have those free pages, and it like restarts the next semester. So like I have a bunch of, I didn't print really anything this semester, so I have all those pages, and I'm like, okay, I might as well print it before then. So like, yeah, my goal is gonna be to finish the novel before then. Okay, so I've written 2 chapters so far, which was like yesterday, and those chapters are shorter than I thought they would be. I needed to finish like I think 2 to 3 chapters a day in order for this to work, which I don't know if it's gonna be possible because I have like finals and stuff. But like also next week I have no school all week, and it's like it's supposed to be time for me to be studying and like writing my essays and stuff. It's like I will do those things, but also like if I have no school, then maybe I can get things done, hopefully. So I guess stay tuned for that. And I guess, yeah, I think I wrote like 1,200 words yesterday, and that was 2 chapters. So as long as I keep on going with my pace, it'll be fine. So, and we're on there are 50 chapters in the novel. I'm on chapter 26, 27, 28, 29. So there's that, and yeah, I'll update you guys later, hopefully. I didn't want to do any more short vlogs, but I guess this is gonna be another short vlog if I've made my goal. If I don't, then it's just gonna be a long vlog. So okay, I decided to go in another angle. I'm on top of my bed and just like whatever, scooch this a little this way. But yeah, I'm on top of my bed, but like I don't know, I just wanted a new angle because I feel like in my what is it, vlogs, I've been just like in the same place every single time. But anyways, I thought I wasn't gonna update you guys until I finished the book. Like at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna update you guys, but then like after that moment I was like, okay, I'm just gonna finish the book because I'm close enough, and I was just like update you guys. And I'm still like basically doing that eventually, but like whatever. But not whatever, let me explain. But yeah, now I'm just like, okay, let me update you guys now because I don't know, I just decided to. Okay, so basically what, I guess a lot has happened. Well, not a lot has happened. I don't know, let me explain. Okay, so basically since I've written the novel, I've been writing like 3 chapters a day, which somehow I'm doing. Oh yeah, I have more time right now because I don't have classes because I finished classes yesterday. Now I just have like finals, which I have 2 essays due. One of them is like a revision, so I'm not really gonna do much on that, even though I probably should, but like I don't care about that class. I don't know, it's pissing me off, whatever. And then I have like, no, actually like 3 essays to do. Yes, that class, then 2 other essays, and then I'll be done. And then I also have a math test, but like I haven't gotten started with, well, and I'm gonna study for that like tomorrow when I actually see my teacher, because then I need to like ask questions. And I'm also like going to the mall today, so like that's why I didn't do it today. Anyways, so basically what has happened during the time of me writing this novel. Okay, basically I've been thinking of like my debut novel. So I've always said this, I've said this like I think how many times, like a lot of times, where I've always said like this novel, I never saw this novel as my debut novel. It was always supposed to be like the second novel I wrote, the like, you know what I mean, it was always supposed to be that. And it's just like I don't know why this is like, I don't know what's making me think that. Yeah, because the 2 novels I've ever like really seen my debut novel as being is Winter and what is it, Therapy Confessions. Like Therapy Confessions, I could even see that as my debut novel. But like this novel, I don't know. Like it's just like something about it just makes me sit down and think, this isn't my debut novel. And it's just like, okay, I guess that would be fine. Which, and it's like, I have no idea where this is coming from. I think it's always just like, because this novel was always supposed to be like the novel I wrote after either Therapy Confessions or Winter. Like, it's been here for a while now. And it's just like, I think maybe it's because it's more, what is it, plot heavy than any other book that I've thought up of or just like written or something like that. And just like, I don't know, I feel like, I guess like right now I'm not supposed to be thinking like an author career, because it's like, bro, I'm not even like querying. I haven't written a book to the point where it just like is query ready or anything like that. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I've been thinking about that. And so basically, like, I think it was like Sunday or something, like I was thinking of writing Winter, which Winter is my another adult literary fiction novel about the main character named Winter who has seasonal depression, and like basically we're dealing with her and just like her relationship with everyone around her, because of this, like how her mental health affects her relationships. So basically that's what the book is about. And I was thinking of going back to that book because I'm just like, I don't see this as my debut novel, but it's just like, I don't know. So I was thinking of going back and just like doing Winter, like writing that book. But also like there's reasons why I stopped writing it. First of all, what is actually, like, this sounds like I've never been in a relationship. Okay, like I know it's embarrassing, but like, okay, I mean, I think, but whatever. And the main relationship in that novel is a marriage. It's like, I feel like part of my reason for like not doing that was because of that reason. And even now, I think I would still be able to write it, but at the same time, it's just like, what is it? Because like I feel like there are just like other relationships that I've been in, like not relationships, but like in general, like familial, friendships, like, you know what I mean? Like there is other like types of relationships that exist, and it's just like, and then it's just like, I can still like deal with the theme of like mental health affecting relationships in general. I feel like that would be something I'm still like technically well equipped to like talk about, but like at the same time, like the main reason was like the whole relationship thing, and that's why I didn't do it. And then also another reason is that these characters, the characters in that book, if I were to write it now, I would make the characters way younger. I think the characters need to be older though. Like the characters need to be well into their careers, for reasons, and like, and when I say well into their careers, I mean like 25. Like they need to be like, at the very least, like there needs to be like, because a lot of that novel is like backstory, and I feel like the relationship would only work, like the main marriage relationship only works if they have years behind them. Like, and it's just like, if I were to write it now, I would make the characters maybe like 1 year out of college, but that would make no sense because like some things need to happen where like the characters are like way into just like life. And because of that, like I'm not writing a 25-year-old character right now. Like the character I'm writing in the book I'm writing now, which is If I Had the Money, I Need to Change That Novel's name. Okay, why am I talking about it? Okay, whatever, we're gonna come back to that novel. But anyways, the novel I'm writing right now, the main character is like a senior year of college, and it's like I'm still like, well, like it's like there are seasons of life that I can physically like say, yes, I am equipped to talk about this, and I can just like, even if it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm a freshman in college, like I don't really know much about like going off into the real world and just like whatever. And that's why I said like I can do even like a intro, like you're just getting your life started off in college, life, and I could still write something like that and still be comfortable in it. But like being well established in a career, I don't think I'm like equipped to write that. And it's just like there are like years that I'm comfortable with writing, and this is like, I don't know if anyone else is like this, but like especially if you're like a young writer where you just like have like a cap age that you can write at. And it's just like, that's just for me, because it's like I've always written characters that were older ever since I've been writing adult adult fiction because like I don't know how old am I? I'm 18, and it's just like the characters tend to be older and stuff, but like yeah. But anyways, that's not the point. That's the reason why I stopped writing winter, and I guess that's all that matters right now. But yeah, well, actually, okay, I'm getting confused. But anyways, that's why I stopped writing winter. But anyways, so I was thinking at that moment like of going back to that novel because I've been just like I love that novel so much. Like it's one of my favorite things ever. Like I feel like the combination of rereading, which this is gonna be a video that comes out soon. Oh yeah, it's not coming out before this video, but I made a video where I react to my second book I've wrote, which was Winter, and I've been like rewriting that and whatever for years now. Like at first it started off as a young adult book and then it became an adult book, and it's just like it's had so many iterations. Like that's like my that's just like the book that I've always just like whatever, like the what is it, dream book, and I've always assumed that like that's like the book you should start off with, and it's like I want to start off with that book, but I feel like I need to be like it's like I think like in a year I can write that book. Like I feel like at the very least I cannot have like a bunch of like just like spots missing from it. Like you know, I don't know. Like I want to write that like next year or the year after. I have no idea. Either that's going to be like the second book I write after this book or something. We've gotten like a lot of off topic. Actually, well, this does go back on topic, whatever. But yeah, so like I've always just like thought of that as my debut novel. So like Sunday all day I was thinking of just like that novel and just like writing that novel and using that novel as my debut novel and stuff. But yeah, ultimately I decided to just like stick to what is it? If I had the money. Again, the name needs to change because the novel is more about religion than it is about money right now. So there's that. But anyways, I decided just like not to do that because first off, I physically do not think I can write another first draft. Like I've been writing first drafts over and over and over again. It's like the idea of writing a first draft actually like just grinds my gear. Like I physically cannot do that. Because like I've just been writing this first draft for such a long time. So yeah, we're sticking to if I had the money right now, but I'm also like, is this a bad idea? Because it's like I don't know where the idea that this shouldn't be my debut novel is coming from. I don't know if it's just like okay, this is like the book I always imagined as my second book, and just like these like orders that I've always imagined like the books coming in, and so for this to be my first book just like doesn't feel right. And I feel like, well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's just more plot heavy than my other books, and I don't know. I don't know. And I also said that like I wanted to write a book till like I've written like multiple drafts and stuff. So anyways, we're gonna stop talking about that because I don't know, I'm confused about that and who knows. But anyways, so we're sticking to if I have the money. So my plans, so okay, how far am I into the novel? I am 26,000 words into the novel. I have like 11 chapters left. I think I'm gonna write like 3 chapters per day. What else? And then I want to print it out before I leave because like I have a lot of printing pages left. What else? What else is there to say? Pages. So there's that. So like it's gonna come out to 30,000 words at the end, which at first I was like, okay, 30,000 word first drafts, like that sucks, because like at first I used to write like 10,000 words before I had like an outline, and now I'm realizing that it's completely fine to just like have a really short first draft, because what I am doing is I am just putting things in order. And I feel like because I made an outline, I was just like, okay, what's this? Just like, why am I just like writing a really short first draft this called again, after having an outline, but now I'm realizing that a lot needs to change about it. I feel like a lot of the words I'm writing right now are just like, what is it? The words that I'm writing right now just feel so, it feels like it's gonna be cut. Like I feel like a lot of what I'm writing just like at this current moment it feels like it's gonna be cut, and part of me is just like, okay, then why are you still writing it? But I am, yeah, I am. Like I feel like I shouldn't be, I don't know, but it's also like I can't just like quit mid draft, because like I feel like I need to sit down, finish this draft. Okay, yeah, finish this draft and then just like edit it. And I feel like since I've been in college and I've been writing like a bunch of essays, like I've written essay after essay, I've started to figure out my writing process. And even if it's just like for nonfiction essay writing, I feel like this was an important lesson I needed to learn, was how I've like, I feel like this is why people write short fiction, and this is just like a helpful just like thing to learn. When you write shorter pieces, it teaches you how you write, and it's like exactly what you do when you're writing and whatever. So like when I write an essay, I write the first draft. I don't have an outline, which okay, I needed an outline. Let me breathe. Okay, I needed an outline for this book because I feel like when I'm writing longer works, it feels just like the chapter will never end, and I just don't like that. And it's just like, it feels like the themes just keep changing, and it's like, even though I'm sitting down going like, okay, everything's gonna just be scrapped, at the very least I'm not writing like one story, then like the next day writing another story, and then the next day writing another story, and I feel like I got overwhelmed with that. But yeah, I think the outline method is like good for writing longer works because of that, at least for me. Then the second draft, I kind of just like basically take everything, scrap it out of just like rewrite literally everything. And just like the second draft, I actually know what my essay is about, and I'm assuming my book is about. And then the third draft is just me. Well, in the third draft, I usually just like put in what is it, all the technical stuff. Like I start doing some line editing. It's just, it's for everything. I do some line editing. I do some just putting in all my research, like my quotes, and just like, well, I have quotes, but like I put in my citations and just like the works cited page, and I don't know what that means for the actual book. And then the fourth draft, and that's my last draft, is just me line editing, just like putting punctuation where it needs to be, just like making sure the thing is good, the essay is good, and then I send it off. So like I feel like this also applies to the novel I'm writing, and I feel like I can see how it would apply. And I feel like what I need to do, what this is teaching me about my novel, is that I think I want to take my novel, yes, and then when I finish writing it, what is it, have a long time of just planning for the next draft. Because I feel like every single time I've always just been like, okay, 2 weeks for just planning for the next draft, and then we just go right into it. I don't think that's enough time. I think that I physically need to just like sit down, just like make everything just like messy, so that when I fix it, it can actually be like something. And though like I think the what's called third draft will be like more me cleaning things up, I think that the second draft, I do not want to spend, because the second draft is just gonna be me writing the draft. It's not gonna be me doing anything. So like the majority of the fixing will need to come in the planning for my next draft thing. So like I'm gonna spend like a month or two just like planning for the next draft of if I had the money. Like I'm gonna just like put a lot of research into just like, what is it, I've been talking for 15 minutes. The church that Ruth go, well, whatever, that's her name. I feel like I've said Ruth is the sister's name, but anyways, that the sister goes to. I'm gonna put a lot of research into that, because, well, not research, well, sort of, but like just like sit down, make characters, because I feel like a lot of the characters just do not exist. Like I feel like the world isn't fleshed out, because first off, I just don't have names for literally everyone in the church, and I feel like names are what makes a character for me. Like I've always been the person, and this is the reason why, if you watched my tropes I hate video. I think my number one hated trope was the no names trope. I feel like a name makes a character more than anything. Like I feel like just putting name to a character just like does something to it. Like I feel like you can just like say what type of person someone is, like whatever, but like I feel like a world feels well lived in when there are a bunch of names. East is coming into the novel not really knowing much about the church, but like the church needs to feel like this fully developed thing that she just like doesn't have a part in. She's just like blocked from it, and it's just like Ruth is very much in this world, and I feel like it needs to feel like a world instead of just like this thing that just like East is criticizing and just whatever, because I feel like it needs to feel just like real, like it needs to feel like this thing, and I feel like right now it doesn't feel like that, which makes sense because like whatever, like I think the pastor is giving off like good, well not good vibes, but like it's giving off like a little bit of some like stuff, but like I feel like a lot of like the little characters in the novel need to be fixed. Second off, I'm basically just thinking of everything I'm going to change in the novel right now. I'm not really just thinking about like anything else because I don't know. I'm writing the novel, but it's also just like I'm just writing it to finish it because I need to finish it. But like a lot of these scenes are gonna be cut. They're gonna be put in just random spots. They're gonna be like a lot of things are gonna happen with them. So I'm just writing it to write it. Second off, the main character keeps complaining about like I feel like the feelings are just like making me mad. Like she's like, oh my gosh, my sister like caught up in this church, blah blah blah. But like it's just like I feel like there needs to be something more for it. Another thing, the main character goes to school in her goes to college in her hometown, but also at the same time she doesn't know that her sister has joined this church cult thing, whatever. Like this is like a mixture of a church cult, whatever thing that you want to say it is. That's just like what the thing is, the like whatever, and that's why I say this is just like a very plot rich story. When I say plot, what I consider plot versus character things is plot is like a what external goals versus internal goals, kind of. Like, I consider relationships not plot. I think consider that what's called internal, because in my opinion it mixes so much with just like internal things, and just like I don't know, it gives off more not plot vibes. But like this novel is specifically about East, who is trying to get her sister to leave this church cult-esque thing. That is just like a very plotty summary in general, and that's just like what the book is about. Yeah, so like there's that versus like my other books, which is just like Winter's relationship with how Winter's relationship affects her relationships, like how Winter's mental health affects her relationships. Did I say that, or did I say relationships affects her relationships? Okay, whatever. But like this is a very much plot book, which I don't remember why I was saying that, but anyways, with this book I need to just like, okay, so it didn't make sense that East was just now realizing that her sister was a part of a cult when she more than likely goes home basically every weekend. And even if she does it every weekend right now, at the very least when she was a freshman, like she must have like at least gone home a lot in general. Like she should know that her sister is a part of a cult. And I feel like the novel should be more about her trying to get her sister outside of a cult rather than her trying to figure out. I feel like I had this discussion like in the first time, but I was like, oh no, let me just do it this way instead of the other way, which I should have done it the other way, but whatever. Yeah, because I feel like I thought that the idea would be too short, and it in general it would have been a way too short idea back then, but like right now it's just like it's not making sense how it's working right now. But anyways, versus what it is right now and what I was thinking of making it, which is East tries to figure out if finds out that her sister's in the cult, then tries to figure out if it's actually a cult, church, cult, whatever. It's complex. Like it's just like it's an extremely religious group, which yeah, like I don't know. It's just like I feel like she never explores, like the novel never explores if it's a cult or if it's a church, but I also just like like it's just like the lines are blurred, and I like that about it. But anyways, so basically, what is it? She's trying to figure out if it's a call. Oh yeah, so first she finds out that her sister is in this cult church thing. Then she tries to figure out if it's actually a cult church thing, and then she's like, "Huh, I need to save my sister." And then it's just like the rest of the novel is her trying to save her sister and stuff. And I feel like beforehand, like, and it's like I've always complained about novels that have that, where you have different stages of just like something in a novel, because I've always just like been mad about that, because I'm just like, I feel like a novel should just be one stage. It should be like very easily East tries to save her sister from a cult church thing, and like that's just like the novel. And I've also just like said this about like novels about grief, like, oh, I don't like a novel about grief where it's like the main character has the character, then they lose the character, then they grieve. It's a lie. I like that. I do like that, but at the same time, like, usually it's like you barely get the grieving process. You kind of just like get the main character, well, no, either they're grieving and like it's complex how it's typically done. But like, for example, a character healing, I think that was my example, where a character will heal, and it will be like this. First, I hate books where it's like first the character realizes that they need to heal, then they, what's called, yeah, the character realizes that they need to heal, and then they heal, because then it feels like two separate books. And I feel like that's how this novel was feeling, and I just like never noticed that. So yeah, that's how the novel is going to be now, just like her trying to save her sister or whatever. So there's that, and that's why I said this novel is becoming a lot about the church, because like the church is like the relationship the main character has with her sister. Like the church very much affects that, and so like the church needs to be like some religious thing needs to be in the title. And then like the money stuff is mostly just like a East thing. Also another thing that needs to change in this novel is that I need to like implement the backstory well, like the second plot line well. There's no second plot, but like it's just like a bunch of things from her childhood. And I think at the going to this church, and it's like she's being reminded of her childhood, who she was in her childhood, and just like a lot of that, just like a lot of things about her childhood is like coming up from this experience of going to this church with their sister. Like I feel like I really love that in novels where there's this like a plot line. Okay, why am I using words that I don't even know the meaning of? But like, there's like this plot line of something clearly happening, whatever, and underneath that they start to like this called uncover some things from their childhood, and basically that's the book that I'm writing. And so there's that. Is there anything else that needs to change in the novel? I feel like, yeah, I'm at the last stages. I have 11 more chapters to write, which will probably make it 30,000 words, but at the same time, I've already said this for stuff, but like, let's say it again, because I don't know, I like to repeat myself apparently. And it's been like 30 minutes, so of course I'm kind of, okay, but so whatever. Okay, so basically I'm looking at my laptop right now. Yeah, so I'm like at the last chapters, and like basically I'm just seeing everything that needs to change. And yeah, sure, some of the things will carry over, but like they need to very much just like everything needs to just switch and just start like being put in the correct spots and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I feel like that's what the third draft might be, like more me like putting things in the correct spots. While this draft, the second draft, what I need to do, what I need to sit down and do is just figure out what needs to change. Like I need to do like a bunch of like the just back end thing, just like figure out like my main character is very into math, and I need to figure out like what math problems are used, exactly how to do those math problems, exactly just like everything about whatever math and stuff, and just like figure that out and have like a very clear plan about that, and not just like be like, oh, the main character does math, because like I've been doing like a little bit of something, but I haven't been doing much. Plus, how do you implement like math column stuff into like the novel when it's just like, I don't know, whatever. Let's not talk about that. Another thing that needs to change. Okay, so basically in the novel, for a second I was thinking of just like East's name is Esther. Like that's her name. She just goes by East in the novel, and it's just like, you know, this representation of like, you know what I mean, religion, blah. I don't know, like she just goes by East. And at first I was thinking of like switching the reason why she goes by East in the novel, but then I just decided just not to, because I don't know, it's just wouldn't be worth it. So yeah, that's just like something that's just, I guess we're gonna have to just like explain it more, but like that's all. Yeah, anyways, I think I'll update you guys when I finish the novel. I feel like I've said basically everything that needs to be said, but I'll just be like, oh, I finished the novel, and just leave it alone, because that's all that needs to be said, and that's all that needs to be done. Okay, I'm trying a different angle. If this sucks, because the things, I'm doing the back of my camera because I'm just like, okay, it has way better quality, and I try to do like some things for like the exposure, because I've been looking at the videos recently and they've been just like overexposed, and it's pissing me off. And it's like, I think it's because of my black hair, and then it's just like everything tries to adjust to it. And I'm also like putting in lighting, because like if I don't do that, then it's gonna be dark. But yeah, this video is my I finished my book thing, which I'm still scared about this because like the camera is like backwards, so I can't see myself looking at you guys, if I am looking at you guys, or if I'm half chopped off. But I'm just gonna hope I'm not. So anyways, I don't know if you see this, but hopefully you guys do. I don't know. I wrote my book, If I Had the Money. I finished it, as you can tell. If I Had the Money, I finished it on December 13th. Today is the 15th, which means that like I haven't updated you guys for 2 days. The 13th was when I left from college and went back home. The word count was 29,613 words, and this is draft 1. I forgot to put my name on like the list of things, but you know, it's okay. So yeah, I guess this is like my I finished my book video, and let's just talk about it. I feel like out of every book I've ever written, I was the least excited to have finished this book. And I feel like because the reason this is because I rushed it. Like at the very end, I was kind of just like, okay, I need to write this book. Wait, no. I need to finish this book. I think I wrote like 2,500 words towards the end. I feel like a lot of the book, like especially towards the end, is just like things that I'm not putting in it, because I said that I'm gonna take a lot of the things in this draft and just go ahead and just like start reordering things and just like whatever. Plus this was like 120 pages. I ended up printing like I think 60 pages because it's front and back. But yeah, so there's that. What is it? What about this draft? Plus it's a little wrinkled because I brought it back from college, so I had to put it in my backpack to come home. What else? The book. Okay, so basically I feel like with the book, I feel like it's been, how would I describe it? I've been writing it, yes. Because I don't know if my what is it? Phone is gonna say I put in too, like it doesn't have enough battery or whatever, because usually it does that like when it's doesn't have enough storage. But you know what, I'm gonna try my best and hope that it doesn't say something like that. But anyways, this draft, I feel like I'm avoiding talking about the draft. There's really nothing to say. Like I didn't have like this like, oh my gosh, like joy feel when I finished it. I was kind of just like slogging through the end, and I feel like that's because a lot of this book is just like, especially towards the end, is just a bunch of like the main character's reaction to things, and just like her thinking about things, and just like all that stuff. And I feel like it just wasn't good. So I was kind of just like writing those things just to write them. An exciting part of writing like 30,000 words basically of a novel is the fact that I've never written this amount for a first draft. Well, I haven't ever written a first draft. I've written 0 drafts. Actually, I think I may have written a first draft once, yes. Because it was like, I called it a second draft, but like my first draft was a first draft. I mean, it was a 0 draft, and my second draft was a first draft. And I consider a first draft really like around the 30,000 word mark, or else I'm just like 0 drafting basically. At least no, that's what I consider. I think it was like 25,000. It was like, actually no, it was like 21,000 or something. Wait, actually I don't remember. I don't remember how long that one was, but it was like bigger. Like my 0 drafts are like 15,000 words, so it was bigger than that. Anyways, this book, so it was the first time I've ever written like an actual first draft, which I'm happy about that. But I feel like out of all my other books, I feel like this book just needs reordering just like to the max. Like I said that I'm gonna sit down, spend like months, just like I think a month, hopefully just like a month. But usually I used to do a thing where I would like do like I'm saying like so many times, I had to do 2 weeks of just like editing, like no, not editing, like reading the book and seeing what needs to be changed. And that's what used to be my thing, but at the same time, like this book just needs like a complete rehaul, and I feel like all of my other books needed like a rehaul, but I never did that for them, and I feel like that's why it ended up going badly, because I would try to redo the book, and then it would just be like slight changes rather than just like completely getting rid of the book and just like making something new out of what this book was. And I feel like towards the end of this book I was kind of just realizing just like everything I needed to change. Is that a plane? Anyways, every time I wrote like a word, like words in this draft, I was just like, okay, this needs to change, this needs to change, this needs to change. And I feel like that just made it the least enjoyable thing, like least enjoyable draft to finish. Because like, and also I usually finish my drafts at night, which is just like so exciting because then it's just like, okay, it's night, and then I finish the draft and then I go to sleep, and then it's just like fun. But this draft, I was again rushing to finish it. It was the last day. I booked my tickets to go home later that day just so I could finish this draft because I wanted to print it out so much at like the school. And then so yeah, I did that, and so it was just like me just saying, okay, I have to finish this, I have to finish this, I have to finish this. And I feel like I regret that, and I don't think I'll ever do something like that again. I feel like deadlines are good, but at the same time, if I'm gonna do a deadline, I think I'm gonna do it before the day I leave for college. Like I think that just like was a bad idea, and I think my deadline was the day before, like days before I left for college, but like I just ignored it and just like didn't do that. And I'm just like, I'm never going to do something like this again with the draft being what is it, finished on the day before I like leave for home. So there's that. Is there any good things about the shift? Okay. Oh yeah, plus I didn't update you guys. I said I would update you. Like this was supposed to be like a full-on like vlog. At the same time, this isn't gonna be a vlog because like I just had to finish it, and I was just putting all my effort into it was finals week, so like putting my effort into finals, just working on this book, and I literally had no time else to do anything else, so I was doing that and hanging out with my friends. It was just like there was literally no time to update you guys, so I feel like that's another thing that contributed to this feeling. Like it felt like, I don't know, like a final thing. And I feel like all my other drafts, there has always been something more exciting. I guess this video is just about like finishing imagine I'm saying all this and then I can't even see myself in the video. That's gonna be embarrassing. I'm gonna be so pissed off. But anyways, I feel like every book, I guess this is about just like not feeling as excited to have finished a book as I have been to finish anything like else, because I feel like that's just like something that happened to me. I want to so badly look at the camera just to see if I'm actually on screen, because like this is gonna be so annoying. Like but it's just like the quality is so much better, like because I see the pixels in my face when it's the front camera, but then when it's not the front camera, the quality is better. And it's like I was thinking of buying a camera, but then I was like, okay, I'm broke, but I don't know. Okay, anyways, yeah, I feel like this video is about more about like just like
okay, I feel like every book I've ever written has been exciting for its own reason. Let's go through the books. So the first book I rewrote and finished was the trio book. We call it the trio book. I have a video of me reading the book with you guys, and I feel like the first time I finished that, it was first off the first time I ever finished like a novel in general. Like I think for a year I was trying to finish a novel, and then I finally finished it at that point. um the book was exciting because I think like especially that time period of my life, like I guess I'm not gonna go into it, but like it was just like a very important book for me to read at the time. And it's like, yeah, for like there are like just like the general reasons, like discovering my sexuality and just like stuff like that, but then there's also like other things that was going on during that time that I was thinking of, and it's just like writing this book just like helped to distract me from that. So like it, like when I finished that book, that was just like such a milestone for me, and it was just like I spent all day writing. Like I think I finished that book in like a month because I was just like writing literally like every day, and it was just like something to take my brain off of what I was thinking about at that time. Anyways, the second book I wrote was How Long is the Lifetime? And that book was really important to me because this was during the winter, and I have a seasonal depressive disorder. Is that what it's called? I don't know, something like that. So like when I finished that book, that was like such a huge milestone because it was just like everything that I was dealing with at the time. It was just like a period of my life just like encapsulated in a book. And it's like, though I reread it, and you can watch that video, and I just like said, okay, it's so cringy and whatever, like completing that book, at least the first version of it, I don't think I read the first version of it. I think I read like a different version of it because like low-key the new version sucked. But like I feel like it was just like such a period of time, and just like finishing that book was very important to me because of like the things I was dealing with at the time. So like it was just like, it was that. Then the third book I finished was Therapy Confessions, and that was this year, like 3 months ago. I checked my thing and saw that I finished it 3 months ago, and I was like, 3 months ago? Wait, is that even true? I don't think that's true. I do not think that's true. That is not true. I saw 3 months, but I'm okay. Wait, November, October, September. I'm lying. I'm a complete liar. That's not true. Okay, I think when did I finish? Actually, wait, no, I'm not a liar. No. It was, yeah, it was 3 to 4 months ago. Yeah, because I think I finished it before I went to college, and that was like my goal to like finish it before I went to college, and then I printed it like a little bit before I went to college, somewhere in like August maybe, and yeah, so I think it was 3 months ago, like 3 4 months ago. And that was an important book to finish because the whole year of 2024, I had not finished a book. And I had talked about this in my like one of my first videos. Like it's kind of like not the exact reason why I decided to start. Actually, I think it was like a part of the reason why I started an author tube channel. And it was also just like 24 was, I guess, like a bad year for writing. It was a bad year for reading. It was a bad year for just like all the creative stuff. I think I was like the best, like emotionally, and just like everything was like really good that year. But like I think on the writing front, things just were falling apart. And just like reading wasn't good, writing wasn't good, because like my reading, I was going from young adult fiction to adult fiction. I also went from young adult fiction to adult fiction during the what is it year, wait, yeah, during the year. I'm gonna talk, I guess, more about this in my 2025 wrap up video, but like I was just like doing all of that. I was, yes, I was what is it, uh wait, okay, what am I talking about? Okay, I need to actually think. Okay, because I don't know, I'm all over the place. But anyways, during 2024, like I was just like, it was a bad year. It wasn't like a bad year in general, but it was like a bad year for like the reading and the writing, because I was going from young adult to adult fiction. Like I was kind of realizing that like all the young adult fiction I was reading and writing just like wasn't for me. And then I feel like when it came to like the actual year, I didn't complete anything because like obviously I was going from this change, and then I was trying to find my footing in the adult sphere. I hadn't like in my young adult days, I knew what type of young adult I like to read, and then I knew what type of young adult I like to write in turn of, like, you know, that. 2024 was just like, I don't know, not the best year for like writing. Specifically, we're talking about writing. So when I finished Therapy Confessions, it was like the first book I had completed in like a year and like 9 months, I guess, or like a year and a half, or whatever it was. It was like the first time completing a book, actually even more than that, because I didn't finish a book in 2023 until I don't know when I finished the 2023 book. um well, it was, I think, like the second draft of the How Long Is a Lifetime book. Like that was the 2023 book, and I think the 2022 book was probably um I have no idea what the order was. I forgot. But yeah, so like it was exciting to finally finish a draft for the first time. And then when it came to this book, there was nothing. Like there wasn't like decided to write this book because um I need to check what the camera's catch. Let me look. It was perfectly fine. I just have anxiety, I guess. But anyways, more about this book. Okay. Uh, when I wrote this book because I sat down and I was like, like Therapy Confessions is not working. And it wasn't working because like I went to college. I started, I don't know, thinking about different things. Like, okay, that book was about loneliness, and I feel like during college I was the least lonely I have ever been in like a long time. And so like when it came to writing that book, it's just like the idea of writing about loneliness was just like not appealing to me anymore. And so I was just like, okay, we have to quit it. And it's like there were things that I loved from that book, and there are things that I still want to revisit. Like I want to revisit the idea of like language and parent and like parents, and just like what is it, the relationship between specifically, I guess, like a child who comes from parents who lived in Nigeria, I guess, and there was like second generation American people, I guess. Like I want to still explore that in the book. I want to explore the idea of just like doing things for the first time later in life, because of like, you know, I guess her thing, circumstances and stuff. Like, I want to explore things like that, but at the same time, like I just, even loneliness, I think I still want to explore that, because like I feel like I came back around, but at the same time I didn't want to explore it in that context. So I kind of just like stopped writing that book and then went on to a new book, which was If I Had the Money. And basically, If I Had the Money was just like, I guess, just the book I was writing after that book, because it was just like the book that I could write. I can't write another book. I guess this is just like me just talking about every book. If you guys want to know more about my books, go to my video about all of my projects, and that will help you just like understand a little bit more, because like, it's a whole deep dive. But I can't write the other book I want to write, like Winter, because I don't have the life experiences. I think I'm gonna make a video about being a young writer and just like how that affects like writing and stuff. But anyways, a little bit about that is the fact that I feel like I'm not ready to write something like that book yet. I feel like I need to experience more life a little bit before I write something like that. So it's just like that's out of my league. Then there's also just like, there are just like a bunch of book ideas that it's just like I have, but then it's just like I haven't experienced that yet. And it's like, yeah, sure, you can like not experience things and still write it, but at the same time there are certain things that I'm just like, this is essential to the book, and it's like you have to experience it. And it's like, though it's not even like that hard to like experience it. Like I don't know how to say it, but like it's just like there are things that like I need to sit down and just like experience. Like I feel like I don't know, like there are things like I don't experience. Like in this book, the main character is doing, I think, finance and just like whatever, and it's like I don't do that, but at the same time I think that there's just like life events, like there are like steps that I need to experience. So like this was like the only other book that I still could write, but also just like I had like the current knowledge to write, and just like it would be fine. And so I decided to write this book. And though this character is like a senior in college, so it's like, okay, we are completely like different. There are things that I can still explore, because I feel like in high school I felt some of these like feelings and just like stuff like that. So like I feel like it's still possible for me to pull on something. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like if there is at least one thing I can pull from my life to just like what is happening in the book, then it will be completely fine. I just need one thing, like one thing to just like to hold on to. But for my other books I just don't have that. But this book I did have that. And so I decided to write it. And basically I was excited for this book, and this was always supposed to be my second book. I've talked about this a little bit. I am in the earlier clips. I don't know if I'll include this in the video. I think I will, but at the same time, if this quality is better, then it's kind of just like, should I include it? We'll figure it out. But anyways, I feel like when it came to writing this book, wait, what was it? I lost my train of thought. I feel like you know what? Okay. This book. I was talking about this life events. Okay, so basically, I was very interested in this book. Like, I think I wrote in the end of 2024, like, an iteration of this book. I just think it had too much plot, and it was just like more focused on the plot, and this is just like more like a little bit more with the characters. This is still like just a very plotty book, and in its nature it's just like a book with a lot of plot. I think I could take off the plot, like I could take away the plot, but at the same time there's a reason why the plot needs to be there for it to work. And it's just always been like that. So there's that. And when I say plot, I feel like I don't know what other people mean by plot, because like I'm writing an adult literary fiction novel, so like there's like different versions of plots. In the first version, why I say like the plot was like very much a thing, was like it was the main character and she had like the stealing problem, like shoplifting, like I don't know, like her idea of getting like she was like, okay, the world has wronged me, so like I'm gonna wrong it or something. Like she had like that whole mindset, and it was just like her on her journey of like, I guess, not getting caught and stuff. So, like it was very much like, I don't know, high stakes, very, I don't know, intense, I guess, or it could have been intense. I didn't write intense, but you get the point. In this version, the main character is just trying to get her sister out of her church, and I still consider that plot, because yeah, it's a very character driven thing, because it's very much about like the two siblings' relationships with each other. But at the same time, it's just like it's about her getting her out of her church, and it's just like it's not just like just characters and just like relationships. It's also like has a little bit of something, like there's an external goal, and I feel like that's what I consider a plot, at least in the literary fiction goal sphere. I consider it just like external motivation, and just like, is it very easy to pitch it? So anyways, I was also kind of just like, okay, this is a very easy book to pitch, and it's just like it's very easy, and it's just like this will be a book that I can easily write and just like figure out and just like, I don't know, do stuff with. What if the thing dies? Okay, this is why I hate just like having the back screen, because it's just like this is how people lose their what's called footage. But you know what, whatever, let me make sure. Okay, we're still good. Sorry. Anyways, in this book, okay, so yeah, it's like the most plotty book I've ever written, and just like, yeah, like there was no like emotional. Oh yeah, I feel like the another thing to mention about Therapy Confessions is not only was it a book that I was writing during a time of just like I haven't written a book in a while. It was also just like I could connect to the idea of feeling lonely at the time. And it was just like I had like this deep emotional connection to the book, and it was also just like another very, oh no, that's a lie. Okay, loneliness, yeah, sure, I had experienced it. What I was experiencing though was like I was just like moving from therapist to therapist to therapist. That was what like really motivated me to write that book. And I was just like, like like that book was very much like a book about just like, okay, like you have a therapist and your therapist is just like, I don't know, someone who helps you through everything, and it's just like this like different type of like, I don't know, relationship, the relationship between a therapist and their client, or like the yeah, that relationship. And it was very much just like about that, and I feel like that's why I was writing it at the time. That okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's like, though I feel, yeah, though I think in college I still experienced that, because like obviously like when you're going from like um high school to college, you go to a new therapist, and then there's also like the therapist, because I got turned 18, and then it was just like whatever. So like that was just like, I think that was my emotional connection to it. This book, I feel like, I don't want to say I don't have an emotional connection to it, because like I feel like there are things that I experience that the character experienced, but I feel like there is no today problem that I very much like is rooted in. Like I feel like in some of my other books that I, for the future, I feel like I can see the connection till for like today, and like me today, and then also those books. But I feel like this book, though these are problems I experienced, like the main character, let me not say that. Well, okay, she has anxiety. Let's just say that. Um, there's also other stuff and whatever, but like I connect to that point. But at the same time, I feel like there isn't anything that, okay, because the specific thing that I'm trying to say, I don't connect to the character on that, at least not right now, because like there's really nothing to say about it. I feel like this was like how I felt like when I first like graduated high school and stuff, and just like in general, like the whole like high school graduating process, like senior year and stuff. Um, and stuff, like I experienced a lot of about this, and I also like, I think a lot in just like a lot of like my life I've experienced like the feeling that this is trying to say. I don't know, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like the themes and just like whatever I've experienced. I feel like this is making it sound like I've never experienced these things. It's like I have, but what I'm trying to say is that like it's not like I don't have like a connection to, like, no, that's a lie. Okay, I don't have like a today, like what I said for each of the other books. Like the first book I ever wrote, discovering my sexuality at the time, and also the books about discovering my the main character discovering my sexuality. The seasonal depression book, uh I was also dealing with that at the time, so I wrote the book at the time. For the therapy confessions, I was switching between therapist to therapist to therapist. So then also just like that experience also like motivated the book. This book isn't like, this book doesn't have like a tangent, just like I was experiencing this at the time, or I'm currently experiencing this at the time, so I'm writing this at the time. This is just simply like something I've experienced in life in general, and I feel like it's like a continuous process, but it's also just like not a process that I'm experiencing at this very moment. Like there's nothing like, I don't know. I feel like you understand what I'm trying to say, but I'm just like making it more complex and just like whatever, more complex than it needs to be. But anyways, I feel like there's nothing like emotionally just like a grounding it, and that's not a bad thing. Like I feel like, I think in my novels, like I kind of need to learn how to just like write a novel without it being currently applicable to my life, I guess. And I feel like that's just like how I've written every other book, and I feel like that's what like a lot of the emotional connection came with, because it was also just like a piece of me at the very moment being like, I don't know, a piece of me. And it's just like when I finished the book, it was just like that era, and that just like using the book to speak about my current situation was gone. And I feel like that I was also just like sad about that, instead of it just being me sad about the fact that I finished the novel. And I feel like that's also just like a part of just like the thing. And I feel like when I said, okay, I've been saying this a lot, that I think that this book has always been my idea of a second book, and that's because, again, I don't have emotional connection to it at the moment. And not emotional connection, like I feel like I'm making it sound like I'm not connected to the book, but I'm also just like, I explained it just a seconds before, but like it's just like the way I'm saying it makes it sound like I don't want to write this book, but it's just like what I'm trying to say is that there is no like, as I said before, like there is no like, I'm not in the current um I'm not in the current just like the main things about this novel, I am just like, it's like I experience them and it's like when I write them I'm like, okay, this is good and this is just like whatever, but I feel like I have a distance from it. I feel like that's a good thing, but I'm also just like, I feel like when I thought about my first novel, I thought like I would write this like very emotional book that would be like very emotional and just like whatever, and so like when it got published it would be like this like complete overcoming of just like the things that I was dealing with at the time, and I thought that that was just like how I was going to write a book, and that's what I've always seen like my debut novel as, and this might not be my debut novel or whatever. That all depends on just like whatever querying and just whatever and things that I'm completely just like not doing right now. But it's just like I think so much in the future that it's just like, of course I've thought about just like my first novel and just like that whole experience. And so like the idea of writing let's lower this a bit, but anyways, the idea of like writing this uh like my debut novel is always supposed to be like something like that, and something like this book I don't have something like emotionally like just like completely and utterly just like whatever. And I feel like that has just like been a lot, especially like specifically with things concerning anxiety, things like that. I feel like they were like, I don't know, put in the past or something back when I went to therapy. Like anxiety was just like an easily treatable thing, and so it's just like I've experienced it, and it's like there are moments where I feel anxious and just like whatever, but it's not like a continuous thing. Like again, like I said this in this vlog, but I don't know if I'm keeping the clip, but I said every winter I feel the need to write the book Winter, and I feel like because all of my life I've just like written books based on like how I'm feeling at the moment, writing this book feels kind of weird. And again, with the whole debut thing, I always thought like like finishing the debut, okay, let's just like use, what is it, my first, not wait, no, which one do I want to use? My first novel was about sexuality. The second novel was about depression. My third novel was about therapist. That's all. Whatever. Okay. So I feel like let's talk about my sexuality novel, because that one's just like, I guess, the lightest topic and whatever. I like always thought like, okay, let's pretend at the very moment I thought that would be my debut novel, and by publishing that book as my first novel I was admitting to what I just like it was like the ultimate uh version of accepting myself. And I know that sounds cheesy, but that's because like I don't know, at the time it was like very serious. But like you get what I mean, like it was supposed to be like this like ultimate like just like this is finished, this is in the past, and it's just like by publishing that novel I was saying something about what I was feeling at the time, and then just like in turn it would just like I don't know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't, and I feel like you guys know what I'm trying to say, but like maybe I don't know. Whatever. I feel like you guys do know what I'm trying to say, but like I always thought that it would be like one of those extremely emotional books. That was supposed to be my first book. This book is emotional and stuff. Like this is like a very like sad book. Like she's like, I don't know, trying to make sure that her sister, like, yeah, just like this sister relationship and stuff or whatever. Her sister and like the cult, like she's trying to make her cult church. I don't know, but it's a very emotional book. Cause like every single book I've ever written, but it's not like a book that like it doesn't have like a completely like emotional tie, like extremely emotional tie to just like what I was experiencing in life today. So whatever, I guess that's just but also like the problem about those types of books, and the reason why those books kind of just like didn't work out, was like I feel like every time I was not in the season of my life where I was experiencing those things, I would just like stop writing the book because then it just like stopped feeling like important. And I feel like that was just like another problem about just like writing a book that's very much rooted in how I felt in the current moment. Was the fact that like once I stopped feeling that feeling, then I would stop writing the book. So yeah, I feel like this is just like a whole rant about just like why I'm this. Just what I'm trying to say is why this book might not be satisfying is because in the current moment I don't feel the feelings of this. And it's like, yeah, sure, I think it's emotional, and I think that there are things about it that could be good. Like all I am seeing is what this book could be, and not I'm not seeing like this was an emotional experience, because this wasn't just like pouring my heart out into a book and then just like going like, yeah, sure. Like it's like no matter what, all the books were as bad at the end as this book is, by after the first chapter and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like with this book, it's just like all I am seeing is the things I need to fix, and there is no like emotional attachment to it. Well, okay, I need to stop using emotional attachment. That's the only word I know. But like I I can see the way that this book can be good, and I feel like I'm still gonna work on it, because at the end of the day, like there are some things that I like about it. There are things that like I feel like this novel, I am excited to read it, and I'm excited to explore things in it, and I'm excited to do all those things, and I'm excited to make the book better. But at the same time, I'm just trying to explain why I believe that I didn't have as an emotional, what's it called, reaction to finishing the book as I have for my other books, because I thought at the moment it was kind of weird. It's like I feel like I've been for a long time just been contemplating writing something else instead of this book. But at the same time, I think like at the end of the day, I have like I'm going to write this book. Like I'm like there is no like, are we gonna write this book? Are we not? Did I finish that? Okay, no, okay. For a second, I thought I didn't submit an assignment for that's like my final, which is due at 12 a.m. and I was gonna be so scared. Oops. Okay, I did complete that. Like I did complete it, but I was like, did I submit it? I did. But anyways, I feel like yeah, that there are exciting things about it, and I just like I feel like there are things that I'm excited to finish and just like do about it, but it just needs to get better, and that's like all I need to pay attention to. And I don't need to just like sit down and try to write a book that I'm exactly feeling at the moment, because at the end of the day, in 3 months, when I'm not feeling this feeling anymore, or just like feeling whatever the feeling, I'm probably like using a book to cope for. Like I'm not gonna write the book anymore, because it'll be like done, and it'll be just like it'll have served its purpose. And so like I'm trying to not use that as my motivator to write a book. So yeah, I guess that's all for this video. I guess this wasn't just like a very much like I'm excited for this book, like I finished it, woohoo, tears, because there's just like a lot of work to do, and I just like there is something to enjoy. The fact that I finished a novel again twice in a year, when 2024 I couldn't finish one novel, that's like exciting. But at the same time, like there's still a lot of work to do, and I'm happy to do the work. And yeah, so that's gonna be all for this video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you liked the back of my camera instead of the front of my camera. You guys can tell me if you liked that, and I'll figure things out for my editing, if I'll keep in like the first like vlog thing that I was doing, or if I'm just gonna just like cut straight to this. But anyways, thanks for watching my video, and have a good day. I'm gonna say bye. I feel like I haven't made an outro in so long. Anyways, bye.